Welcome to Chapter 10, Families. In this chapter, we're looking at how families are structured, how work and care are divided, and how gender continues to shape who does what at home. The idea of family changes across time and culture, but one thing remains the same. Families are where the personal meets the social. They're where we see inequality, culture, and love intersect most clearly. Let's start with what sociologists call the second shift, the work that begins after paid work ends. For many women, this means coming home from their jobs only to start a second round of labor, cooking, cleaning, and caring for others. There's also the mental load, the invisible intellectual and emotional work of managing a household. It's keeping track of appointments, remembering birthdays, scheduling doctor visits, and worrying about whether there's milk in the fridge. It's the kind of work that's easy to overlook, but impossible to live without. Many families also practice what's called concerted cultivation, especially among middle class parents. This means putting enormous effort into organizing children's activities, lessons, and experiences to help them get ahead in a competitive world. It's loving, yes, but it can also be exhausting and expensive. Housework and childcare remain deeply gendered. We often idealize motherhood through the lens of intensive mothering, the belief that raising a child requires endless time, energy, and resources, and that mothers should put it above all else. This ideal is powerful, but it can also be unrealistic and isolating. Pop culture reinforces these patterns. Mothers are often depicted as self sacrificing or frazzled, while fathers are portrayed as either clueless or heroic for doing basic parenting tasks. These representations shape expectations for everyone. When it comes to balancing paid and unpaid work, we see three main approaches. Traditionalists prefer the breadwinner housewife model, where men earn income and women manage the home. Neo traditionalists support women working for pay, but still expect them to handle most of the housework and childcare, what we call the super spouse. And egalitarians prefer true partnership, where all responsibilities, earning, cleaning, and caring, are shared. In reality, sharing is hard. Some couples try to split tasks evenly. That's called sharing. Others practice specialization, dividing roles so one person focuses on paid work and the other on domestic work. But both systems have challenges, especially when outside institutions like jobs or schools demand more time and energy than families can give. Sociologists call these greedy institutions, systems that consume so much of us that there's little left for home life. Some couples respond by becoming dual nurturers, turning away from work and centering their lives around family and care. Others rely on domestic outsourcing, paying nannies, cleaners, or caregivers to take on household work. This creates what's known as a care chain, where caregiving labor often falls to women with fewer resources, sometimes across national or class lines. Not all families fit the traditional mold, and that's a good thing. We see integrated mothering where women work, support one another, and build networks of care. There are other mothers and other fathers, people who step in to care for the children of friends or relatives, and extended families, including grandparents, aunts, uncles, and chosen kin, remain essential in many cultures. Deciding how to divide labor at home is often shaped by class, opportunity, and belief. Traditional families still exist, but many people today are finding creative ways to balance tradition and change, even though specialization often comes with a price, like dependence or lost income. Some families go it alone. The working poor are individuals who hold jobs but still live in poverty. They remind us that family stability isn't just about effort, it's also about access to fair wages and social support. And some people choose not to have children at all, not out of rejection of family, but as an intentional life choice that deserves the same respect as any other. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed how fragile our systems of care really are. When schools and daycares closed, the unpaid labor of caregiving, mostly done by women, became even more visible. Families adapted, but the strain highlighted how much our society depends on invisible, unpaid, and undervalued care work. So, in this chapter, we're reminded that families are not just private spaces, they're public institutions shaped by policy, culture, and inequality. And even though the balance between work and care is constantly shifting, one truth remains: families, in all their diverse forms, continue to hold society together.